At a time when drought, diminishing returns and environmental issues are challenging farming sustainability in the Wheatbelt, Nick Kelly and his father Malcolm have been experimenting with a cropping system that has the potential to increase yields, reduce reliance on chemicals and encourage soil health with a live root system during summer.
Hollands Track Farm is about 400 kilometres southeast of Perth. We tell most people it's halfway between Perth and Esperance. We crop 3,000 hectares of varying soil types, clay, sandy gravels, and there's quite a lot of ironstone as well, rocky ridges. We've been growing around a third canola, a third wheat and a third peas, and we're now up to about a quarter millet and a quarter canola and a quarter peas and a quarter wheat. So that's pretty much the rotation now. Steadily bringing more and more millet into the system. We went down the minimum tillage road maybe 15 to 17 years ago, but I wasn't content with that system and to just stay there. And we still didn't see a reduction in weeds and radish just from doing that, from going to minimum tillage. Yeah, we'd just been spraying it year in, year out, and in summer as well, and it was just getting worse and worse. We weren't controlling it at all. I was spending so many hours on the boom spray, and I started thinking about, is this really necessary? There needs to be a better way. So I looked for an alternative, and I realised I had to change my way of thinking in regards to removing issues from the system, find out what the issue actually was, and I ended up adding to the system rather than removing. So I've been replacing radish with something else. I've been growing millet in its place, and it's a really great competitor to radish, and we have been watching our radish numbers decline steadily.
Many farmers rely on chemicals to control summer weeds. It's been found that millet suppresses the growth of weeds due to its allelopathic qualities. Nick's experiments with millet and summer cropping in the southeast corner of the Wheatbelt are revolutionary, and many farmers are looking over the fence to see the results.
Rather than have a chemical fallow over the summer, which I saw as quite unhealthy for the soil, I prefer to grow something all through summer. I think that live root system in the soil over summer is important in keeping the micro and macro organisms alive. We're finding with the increase in organic matter over all of the farm is we're retaining a lot more moisture than we were in the past. The disc system helps as well, the lack of tillage and opening the soil up. And also we're finding, even at the end of a long dry summer, a lot more moisture around the base of the millet plants as well. And we've definitely noticed that our farm is greener. And I'd say that green cover is stopping a lot of evaporation as well, keeping the soil surface a lot cooler. It is cheaper to sow a millet crop, and it's far healthier. And there's a potential to harvest millet as well, given enough rainfall in the right season. Here's some soil. This is what our soil used to look like before we retained our residue and organic matter. You can see a lack of roots and carbon in this soil profile. Here is what our soil looks like now, and this is as a result of retaining all of our straw and residue and organic matter. And you can see the roots from the millet in the soil profile. But the rotation varies. I still don't know yet in which order it should go. I won't know for a couple more years, I think. But I'm trying to get the millet phase between the canola and between the peas for diversification, and also so I don't run out of my grass selective. But I think I've been experimenting with summer crops for at least 5 years now. Yeah, and that's been a long journey trying to find the best summer crop for this area. From the research I'd done, it seemed that millet was the most suited. But I'm pretty keen to try sunflowers. I've also been trialling tropical legumes as well, like Dolichos lablab. This will be our third winter crop, the disc system. I'm really trying to get rid of tillage completely. We still need to concentrate on depleting the weed seed bank as well. I really believe that we're a year away from really seeing amazing results. Given a dry season this year, I still think we're seeing reasonable results. But yeah, I'd still need to get some of our soil health and nutrition right. And yeah, I think we're pretty close to a major breakthrough with the system. But really trying to replicate the virgin bush's massive amount of biomass and organic matter, and there's no tillage in that scenario. I believe God led me to go and study that environment, and I noticed the amount of biomass and organic matter that God was growing, and I looked in our paddocks and saw, such a minimal amount of organic matter, and our crops were so tiny compared to the native bush. And that was where I really started to look for the principles that existed in that environment and try and apply them to the paddocks. And it may sound a little bit philosophical, but I think we've got a lot to learn from the native environment and the principles like lack of tillage and having something growing all year round, and the amount of organic matter that you see on the ground, and also down to things like an understory and all of those things. So yeah, I took a lot from that and brought it into this system and started to apply it in the paddocks. Major lesson is not to try and change a system overnight or in 1 year. When you're in a chemical system, it takes time to get out of that. It can be related to a drug addict coming off drugs. I think our soil is in a very similar predicament.
Nick is one of the new generation of farmers, and his vision to develop a farm system that simulates nature is why Nick Kelly is a Wheatbelt champion.